today's project started with a gear from my husband's e-bike, and I thought it had such a nice shape, and it's also quite heavy that it would make a good base. Now what I added to it is something I found in a thrift store. I'm really not sure what it was meant for, but it's sturdy and heavy. It got attached with 2 screws on the bottom, and I also added a hole on the top just so that I can attach some of these mechanical things that are a bit heavy, a bit more securely. Now I believe that this thing came from a broken heater. It's such a cool piece with interesting components, and I want to add it to my contraption. So I opened up this little box on the right side because it gives me a better surface to glue this against one of those legs. You can see here on my table that I pulled out a lot of handyman bits, little mechanical bits and pieces from different electronic devices, screws, nuts, washers, you name it. Now for many of these pieces I do not have a name, neither do I know where they originated. If I do, I will definitely tell you, either while I'm still chatting with you or in the captions. Now this round thing with all the holes, that came from a kitchen meat grinder. Here I am fiddling with some of the bigger, heavier items, and I do use screws and nuts to give them more stability. But for the most part, like always, I will use my E6000 for my glue, and also the hot glue gun once in a while, just to hold things in place until the glue actually takes hold. So I jumped ahead a bit, and as you can see, I added a couple more platforms and some details. Again, because this thing stands up and I'm working on it, the view was just hard to capture on camera. Now, like always, I will strive to give you a good idea of my process, but in reality, this is not going to be a gap-free tutorial, but more of a glimpse into the way I work, into my ideas, into my techniques, and hopefully it will be enjoyable for you. Like always, I will add anything you need to know, anything I might need to explain in the captions. I will turn you over to some music, but I will be back chatting with you towards the end of the video. So just a little bit more paint and my piece is done. Now, in order for you to get a better view, as it was really hard to film this thing on my desk, I took it outside. So here it is, and you can see the green cabochons I choose for his eyes. Now, I will turn this thing really slowly, and hopefully you can get a really good view at all the details one more time, and maybe even pick up on some things that you may have missed throughout the video. So I had a lot of fun putting this crazy contraption together, a lot of tinkering, which is something I really enjoy. Another thing I also like to do is to include some movement into my art. So I used a lot of mechanical bits that made it a bit easier for me to do so. So there are several parts that turn or swivel or dangle, and I think it adds interest. I also left a few pieces unpainted. Those are the silver bits. I even added a few silver charms for dangles. I also added a little mirror for another special focal point. And overall, I like the contrast between the green snake and the nice warm copper for the rest of the tower. All right, that's it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed the process and that it included some inspiration and some ideas for your own art. So I will be back when my next piece is completed. In the meantime, stay well, stay creative, and have fun with your projects.